Jacob also said a little embarrassingly, "Mom, don't worry, I will die." In fact, Jacob also complained to the Lady Wilson in his heart. However, in addition to complaints, there are still family affections. After all, she is his own mother. How can he really have no feelings at all? At this moment, seeing his mother caring about him so much and crying like this, he was also moved. Old Mrs. Wilson burst into tears, and she reprimanded herself and said, "I blame Jacob, and I don't care about you so much. After knowing that you have an accident, your mother feels regretful. I am really afraid that you will be injured." Mom's misunderstanding is gone. With that, the Lady Wilson was already crying bitterly, and choked with sobs. "Jacob, for so many years, in fact, Mom didn't care about you. Mom just always wanted you to be a good man, so she was deliberately harsh on you and hoped that you could grow up quickly. It's all hard work for Mom to be alone. Don't blame Mom." Jacob suddenly felt his heart tighten, and he burst into tears unconsciously. He had always complained to the Lady Wilson before. Why did she love his brother so much but not him? Why do you always encourage your brother, but to yourself, no matter what you do is wrong? This matter has become a knot of his heart for so many years. But today, when Mom said so tearfully, he suddenly felt that the knot in his heart seemed to loosen a lot. Charlie frowned. He is not from the Wilson family, and there is no such so-called family bondage, so he can tell at a glance that the old Mrs. Wilson is doing a bitter trick. The Wilson family is now in a desperate situation, and if it can't be relieved, the Wilson group will fall apart, and the Lady Wilson will instantly fall to the bottom. She is a person who loves face all her life and would rather die than accept that she is poor and destitute, so she will definitely rack her brains to find a way to turn around. She had bullied and lured Claire before, but Claire never gave her any chance. She also used money to try to find a breakthrough from Elaine, but Elaine failed to convince Claire. Now, she began to aim at Jacob, and was ready to use a bitter trick to find a breakthrough from Jacob. This may also be her last resort. Jacob was already fooled at this time. He felt his heart knot untied, and the respect and love for his mother appeared in his heart. So, he shed tears and said, "Mom, I don't actually blame you in my heart. I know that I am not up to date. I am not as capable as my elder brother, nor as strong as my elder brother. I have disappointed you, sorry." Old Mrs. Wilson grabbed his hand, and while holding it tightly, she choked and said, "Good son, you can understand Mom's painstaking efforts. Even if Mom is dead now, it's worth it." The old Wilson standing by the side hurriedly stepped forward and sobbed, "Mom, don't keep talking about death. Jacob and I have lost our dad, so I can't say anything without Mom." While wiping her tears, Mrs. Wilson said gratifiedly, "You brothers have me in your hearts. Even if I die, I will be smiling on deathbed." Then she said, "You guys, you must be brothers together. Only brothers can be together. The old saying goes well, brothers are united, and the benefits are broken. If the two of you can tie together and do it well, what will the Wilson family worry about? Can't it be strong?" Noah Wilson nodded repeatedly. "Mom, you are right, I have been taught. From now on, I will work together with Jacob to make the Wilson family bigger and stronger." Jacob's expression was also a bit agitated, and he was on the set at first glance. Charlie couldn't help sighing. The Lady Wilson is really a good trickster. The effort of 3 or 2 paragraphs has already brought Jacob into the ditch. Really? Jacob was also instigated by her and his elder brother's words, and was moved and said, "Don't worry, Mom, I will definitely work together with elder brother." When Mrs. Wilson heard this, she became excited and blurted out, "Good. Good. Great." At this time, the Lady Wilson said to Harold and Wendy, who had been keeping their heads down and silent, "You two, quickly apologize to Claire and Charlie. Although you and Claire are not brothers and sisters, there is a relationship between cousins. Everyone's blood is thicker than water. How can you always treat Claire and Charlie so excessively? With that said, the Lady Wilson looked at Wendy and shouted, "Wendy! Especially you. At the opening ceremony today, do you still want to do something with your cousin? Don't give it to your sister. Quickly apologize." The two brothers and sisters immediately bowed deeply and said in a very pious voice, "Claire, we were wrong before. Please forgive us. We will never do anything against you in the future." Claire was also a little caught off guard. She had never seen Harold and Wendy apologize softly. These two brothers and sisters have been stabbing their heads and facing each other life and death for so many years. However, seeing that both of them had apologized, Claire also kindly said, "Forget the past." Mrs. Wilson was overjoyed and immediately said to Claire, "Claire, your dad's body is still in the recovery stage, so he must be recuperated. Although Wilson's villa is a bit older, the environment is better than that of the residence they live in. There are a lot of strong buildings. How about you all move back to live?